Welcome to Center for Innovative Language Learning. This is another new PTE lesson, and today's topic is reordered paragraphs, updated techniques. As you all know that I already uploaded another video on reordered paragraphs, but I have come again with the same topic to give you some more updated techniques that I've tested and experimented to help you with your frustration in reordered paragraphs. And this is Syed Wasi. Those who know me already know me, and those who don't know me, let me introduce myself. I am the official trainer at the PTE Test Center in Bangladesh and scored 90 out of 90 in all modules in PTE. And I'm running my institute that is called Center for Innovative Language Learning, often known as cillbd, and that's where I'm standing right now. I'm the CEO and chief trainer of this institute. And as a PTE specialist, this is my another video on PTE, and the topic is updated techniques for reorder paragraphs. So let's start. If you know that, I talked about it already. So I'll just talk about the first part that is similar to what I said before, then I'll move to the other techniques. The first thing is that your responsibility in reorder paragraphs would be to find out the introduction, the introductory sentence. But please note that the lines that are given, although it is called reorder paragraphs, these are basically lines. But remember that the lines that are given sometimes are usually taken from a text from the middle. So they have a sequence, but you cannot take the passage for a complete story like introduction to ending, but you will definitely find an introductory sentence. But remember, there is no formal conclusion. But as I said, after the introduction, you just find the sequence. So do not try to, after finding the introduction, you just find the sequence. Don't keep in mind that I have to also find a concluding sentence. Usually, if you find the sequence in the right way, the conclusion comes in the end. It may not be the conclusion in real life, but concluding sentence for that specific task. Keeping this thing in mind, let's talk about how to find the introductory sentence briefly. I talked about it before, so I'll go brief. Many people would say find an independent statement. That's easy to say, but what is an independent sentence? So for that, you have to keep a map in your brain of all the WH words that are to say who, which, when, why, where, what, when. I think I repeated. So if you read a sentence and find any element that raises a question in your mind as to who did it, what was it, when was it done, where is it, why is it, then it's not going to be the introduction. What I mean is that those WH words will not be written in the sentence. Don't be confused. I said it is a mental picture you have to keep. For example, if any sentence starts with, it was a tough time. So, of course, you will ask yourself, what was a tough time? It's not specified. Or, he was the man who introduced. Who was the man? Who is he? That will come in your mind. The idea was to launch, or the idea did not work. So what was the idea? So elements like it, that, he, she, this, or since then, at that time, and conjunctions like but, however, in addition, furthermore, that continue sentences, they don't come in introduction. So the simple gist is that be very observant, look for a clue that does not raise any question like what it is, who is it, where is it, when is it, then that is going to be the introduction. So introduction is independent that way. Let me give you two examples. You decide, think quickly, and then I will tell you the answer. You think, I'm going to give you two sentences, you think which one should be the introduction. Number one, this idea did not work properly for a number of reasons. Sentence number two, the idea of launching a new program did not work. So you just think for 10 seconds and tell me which one is the introduction. All right, so the introduction would be the second one because it says the idea of launching a new program. It includes idea, and of means what the idea is about. But the first one, the idea didn't work. I would ask myself, what idea, which idea? It's not going to be the introduction. Let me give you two more examples. The faculty did not work for the students' improvement properly. Sentence number 2. The faculty of arts did not work properly for the students' improvement. So again, the second one is the introduction. Because the faculty of arts, you know the faculty. The first one, which faculty are you talking about? So ask yourself these questions when you find the introduction. Once you find the introduction, now comes my updated or improved techniques. Remember, many would say, many would say, object of the introduction is the subject of the connecting line. It's very easy to say, but this technique works only 5% for two reasons. Number one, that is not the case most of the time. Number two, many candidates don't even know what an object is. So this technique, I would say, is outdated and it's not very effective. If you, I'm sure you've already tried this and you agree, I'm sure right now you're nodding your head agreeing with me that yes, it's not going to work, it's not working. So what to do? This technique, object and subject, works only 5%. 95% cases, the word clue technique works. That's what I'm going to show you right now. Word clue. What I mean is that once you find the introductory sentence, you have to just focus on the key words of the introduction. I'm going to read a paragraph, and then this is in order already, okay, but I'll show you the word clue stuff, how you understand word clue. For example, as you can see on the screen, after finishing first in his pilot training class, Lindbergh took his first job as the chief pilot of an airmail route operated by blah 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 blah. So this is an introduction because although it says his, but right after that it gives the name of the pilot, that is Lindbergh. Took his first job. Now once you put the introductory sentence, what you have to do is like now keep the keywords from the introduction in mind. What are the keywords? Basically the highlight of the introduction. For example, it's about a pilot, his first job, and airmail route. Now if you keep these three keywords in mind, he is a pilot, his first job, and about a route, airmail route, then you will find the next clue. He means Lindbergh, flew because he is a pilot, and mail to airmail, uh, he was flying to some kind of airmail route. That is the route. Flew what? What was the route? The mail was D Havilland DH4 blah blah blah. That was the route. So that is connected to the keyword airmail route, and also that was that he is a pilot, so he flew the plane. Then you come to the second sentence. Forget about the introduction. And now you work on the keywords of the second sentence. And in that case, you can discard the keywords of the previous sentence. Now it's about, again, the mail is there, of course, and the route is also there. So again, you see in the third sentence, it says mail route. And on the mail route, which route? That has been specified before. And now you work on the clues of the third sentence. That is, he was renowned for delivering the mail under any circumstances. So he had a reputation, renowned, and any circumstances. That's why an example of a circumstance is given in the last sentence. So you see, the last sentence is not basically, it doesn't give any flavor of a conclusion, but the by sequence, that is the conclusion. I'm going to give you some more examples, but that is how you have to solve word clues. Remember, in the introductory sentence, there will be some 2-3 word clues. Not necessarily all the words will be found. At least one word will be found. But most of the time, same word, synonym will be found, 1 or 2 words. But in some cases, the same or similar word will not be found. The context will match. For example, they are talking about a route. The route's details is given, but the word route is not mentioned. That is how you have to find the context connection as well. But the context is also connected to any of the word in introduction. And then the second sentence is keyword. Any keyword will be connected to the third sentence. Direct word, similar words, or context. Let me give you some more examples now. But before that, I will show you the task. It's not in order. You have to put it in order. Then I will discuss the order. As you can see that in the task, If we analyze the introductory sentence first, let's have a look at the other one. For the task, the first sentence was leave to cook for 5 years and you have a feast of profits. So you will ask yourself, leave what? It's a sudden sentence, cannot be introduction. Number two, there has been the recipe for private equity groups during the past 200 years. The recipe, that means they have to give a kind of recipe before. Take an underperforming company, introduction, but you cross-check, add some generous helpings of debt, blah, blah, blah. Again, it seems to be a sudden sentence out of nowhere, where add some generous helping of debt, where. So in the start is take an underperforming company. That is the introduction. And now the clue is underperforming. That means it's in a bad shape. So for an underperforming company, what you have to do, they are written in a way as if you are cooking something. You add some debt and some incentives and trim all the fat, that means expense. So from there, what you do, that means you make some investment. And after the investment, you live to cook for 5 years and you have a feast of profits. That means from the investment, although there is no word clue, but if you think about the incentives, debt, that is an expense cut, that will give you profits. And from there, that has been the recipe, that is to say, the process of upgrading a company which is on loss for a long time. So that is the sequence. Let me give you one more example before we leave. So here's the other example. Let's have a look at the sequence now. But before that, let's talk about how we found the introduction. Introduction is in his fascinating book Carbon Detox. George Marshall argues that people are not persuaded by information. Again, although it starts with the name of the writer is given, also the name of the book. So that is going to be the introduction. Now let's take the word clues. In the book, what it says, he argues people are not persuaded by information. So people persuade information. These are the three keywords for which you say you find the connecting word sentence. Our views are formed. So people are persuaded by information, and information and persuasion has to do with views and thoughts and ideas. So that is how you find the connection. And also people means our. People gives a reference to our views are formed by the views of the people with whom we mix, and people is also there, but remember, not just matching by one word, rather than you focus on the context as well. That is going to be more secure. But views, our, people, they give the clue. Then from there you say with whom we mix with people. That depends, that is a factor. So then it says, of the narrative that might penetrate these circles, we are more likely to listen to those which offer us some reward. So you see, we mix up with people, that means we interact with them, so we listen to them. And then the clue for the third sentence is, so penetrate some circles and reward. So that kind of habit, more likely that kind of habit. So he proposes, that writer of course, that instead of arguing for sacrifice, environmentalists should show where the rewards might lie. And you see in the previous sentence the word reward was there, and here reward is also there. That is the clue. And of course, if you find the first four sentences, the last one automatically goes. So you have to just first find the first, third, or fourth the first three or four sentences in order to find the right sequence.